bro.
A single photo, a final moment frozen in time, just seconds before disaster. These are the selfies that capture pure joy, excitement, even confidence, completely unaware of the danger lurking just beyond the frame. From daredevils pushing their luck to travelers unknowingly standing on the edge of tragedy, these images serve as chilling proof of how quickly life can turn. Some of these people were smiling, others were celebrating, but none of them knew it would be their last photo. Stay with us as we reveal the most haunting and shocking selfies ever taken, just moments before it was too late. The price of adventure. Sophia Chung, a 32-year-old social media influencer with over 35,000 Instagram followers, built a reputation on her daring spirit and love for extreme experiences. Her account showcased breathtaking selfies, some taken on rocky cliffs by the sea, others from precarious ledges overlooking deep valleys. She lived for adventure, always chasing the next adrenaline rush, often pushing the boundaries of what was safe. On Saturday, July 10th, Sophia set out to explore Hapak Lai Park in Hong Kong, a picturesque but dangerous location known for its stunning waterfalls and steep cliffs. True to her fearless nature, she attempted another daring selfie near one of the park's cliffs. As she positioned herself for the perfect shot, she lost her footing and plunged more than 5 meters down. Her friends, witnessing the horrific fall, immediately called for help. Emergency responders arrived swiftly, doing everything possible to assist her. Tragically, despite their efforts, doctors pronounced Sophia dead upon arrival at the hospital. Her untimely passing serves as a stark reminder of the hidden dangers that often accompany the pursuit of extreme photography. Ironically, her Instagram bio once read, "Life should be fun and not stupid." Her story is a heartbreaking lesson on the fine line between adventure and recklessness. Before we continue, another image has been circulating online, this time of a vlogger who was paragliding while attempting to take a selfie. In the excitement of capturing the moment, she reportedly forgot to pull her safety string, leading to disastrous consequences. While we haven't been able to confirm the authenticity of this event, the risks remain clear. So, what do you think? Is the pursuit of the perfect photo worth the danger? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. The tragic end of the bikini climber. Gigi Wu, a 36-year-old Taiwanese climber, captivated thousands on social media with her daring mountaineering feats. Known as the bikini climber, she developed a unique tradition, scaling some of the world's most challenging peaks and celebrating by taking selfies in a bikini at the summit. Her fearless approach to adventure and breathtaking photos earned her a devoted following, with fans admiring her boldness and strength as she conquered mountain after mountain. In December 2019, Gigi embarked on what would tragically become her final expedition, setting off on a solo trek through Yushan National Park, home to Taiwan's tallest mountains. She aimed to scale yet another peak over 4,000 meters high. Reaching the top, she prepared to take her signature summit selfie, braving the icy winds in her bikini. But in a devastating turn of events, Gigi lost her footing and fell into a ravine. Despite the severity of the fall, she remained conscious and used her satellite phone to call for help. A rescue team immediately mobilized, but harsh weather conditions made reaching her nearly impossible. As the hours dragged into days, the bitter cold of the high-altitude wilderness took its toll. Before rescuers could reach her, Gigi succumbed to hypothermia. Her untimely passing sent shockwaves through the mountaineering community and among her many followers, who had been inspired by her relentless spirit and love for the mountains. Her story serves as a stark reminder of the dangers that even the most experienced adventurers face when pushing the limits of human endurance. Nirupama Prajapati, a picnic turned tragic. On January 3, 2021, Nirupama Prajapati, a young woman from India, set out for what was meant to be a carefree day with friends at Sundargarh, a popular picnic destination known for its breathtaking landscapes. The sun was shining, the air was crisp, and the group enjoyed a few hours of laughter and relaxation outdoors. As the day progressed, Nirupama wandered over to a majestic waterfall, eager to take in the beauty of the rushing waters. The view was stunning, and she decided to capture the moment with a selfie, quickly turned into a devastating accident. As she posed near the edge, a man walking behind her accidentally stumbled, bumping into her at just the wrong moment. The slight nudge was enough to send her off balance. Before anyone could react, she slipped and plunged into the powerful currents below. Panic set in as her friends and bystanders rushed to call for help. Rescue teams worked tirelessly, searching the turbulent waters for nearly 22 hours. Eventually, they discovered her body lodged between rocks about 400 meters downstream. The joyous day had transformed into an unimaginable nightmare. Her heartbroken family and friends were left grappling with the shock of her loss, mourning a life that had been cut short by a simple yet tragic misstep. Nirupama's death serves as a grim reminder of how quickly things can go wrong in the pursuit of a seemingly harmless photo. Tony Kelly, a dreamer's final journey. For 20-year-old Tony Kelly, life was an adventure waiting to be explored. A globetrotter and influencer from New Zealand, she was passionate about seeing the world, sharing her travels with thousands of followers. Her dream? To visit every country, capturing the essence of each place through vibrant selfies. Tony's Instagram was filled with snapshots from some of the world's most famous landmarks: the Electric Picnic Music Festival in Ireland, the sun-kissed beaches of California, the historic streets of London. Each picture radiated her infectious energy and love for adventure. In November 2017, while visiting London, she checked into a hotel near Trafalgar Square. Eager to document her latest stop, she decided to take a selfie from her second-floor hotel window. As she positioned herself for the perfect angle, she lost her balance and fell. Bystanders rushed to her aid, and emergency responders transported her to a hospital, but the impact had caused severe brain injuries. Despite medical efforts, Tony tragically passed away. Her devastated family made the incredibly selfless decision to donate her organs, ensuring that her legacy would live on by saving other lives. In her final moments, Tony continued to give, her spirit of adventure, kindness, and generosity leaving an indelible mark on the world. Her story is a sobering lesson in the importance of prioritizing safety, no matter how tempting the shot may be. In a world where capturing the perfect photo has become an obsession, Tony's tragic accident underscores the fine line between adventure and danger. The cost of the perfect shot. In July 2019, English couple Daniel Mee and Jaden Dolman, aged 20 and 25, set off on what was supposed to be a relaxing Mediterranean getaway. They chose Punta Prima, a stunning seaside resort in Alicante, Spain, known for its golden beaches, crystal-clear waters, and lively nightlife. Their vacation was filled with sun-soaked days and late-night walks, enjoying the beauty of the Spanish coast. But one evening, as they strolled along the beach, they came across a breathtaking viewpoint, a raised pathway with panoramic views of the ocean. The sunset cast a golden glow over the water, making it the perfect spot for a selfie to capture the moment. Hoping to get the best possible angle, they climbed over the safety railing, stepping dangerously close to the edge. Tragically, in their pursuit of the perfect photo, both lost their balance and fell over 12 meters onto the rocky shore below. Daniel died instantly, while Jaden succumbed to his injuries the following day in the hospital. Their deaths sent shockwaves through their families and friends, leaving loved ones grappling with a devastating loss that could have been avoided. The tragedy serves as a heartbreaking reminder that no photograph is worth risking your life. Not so innocent. The man behind the bomb. At first glance, the smiling man in the photo looks like he's carrying a simple lunchbox, but look closer, and you'll realize this is no picnic. The man is Harold Agnew, a physicist whose work changed the course of history in the most catastrophic way possible. That box, it holds the plutonium core for Fat Man, the nuclear bomb dropped on Nagasaki in 1945, a single object that led to the deaths of over 80,000 people. The photo was taken on Tinian Island, where scientists worked in secrecy on Project Alberta, the mission responsible for assembling and delivering the bomb. What makes this image truly disturbing is just how casual Agnew looks. If you didn't know better, you might think it was a team preparing for a routine military operation, not an event that would wipe out an entire city. But Agnew didn't just help build the bomb. He was in the air when it happened, flying aboard the Great Artiste, a scientific observation plane trailing the Enola Gay. Agnew personally recorded the destruction below. Through his camera lens, he captured haunting footage of the aftermath, showing a city engulfed in fire and smoke. That smile in the photograph carries a much heavier weight once you realize what he was carrying and what would come next. Webster Sisters, the selfie that turned fatal. For most people, A selfie gone wrong just means bad lighting or an awkward pose. But for Essa Ricker, Kelsey Webster, and Kelsey's younger sister, Savannah, a simple photo op turned into a nightmare. On a crisp October afternoon in 2011, the three girls set out for a scenic walk in Spanish Fork Canyon, Utah. As they wandered along the railroad tracks, they heard the low rumble of a train approaching in the distance. Excited by the moment, they decided to snap a selfie with the train in the background. Savannah uploaded the picture to Facebook, capturing their smiles and the thrill of the moment. But what they didn't realize was that another train was approaching from the opposite direction. The conductor saw them too late. He blasted the horn repeatedly, frantically trying to warn them. For 12 agonizing seconds, the train barreled toward them at 39 miles per hour, but it was impossible to stop in time. By the time they noticed the oncoming locomotive, it was too late. The last photo they took remains a chilling reminder. If you look closely, you can see the headlights of the second train shining in the distance. The accident devastated their families and left the train crew with emotional trauma they would carry for life. The image now serves as a heart-wrenching lesson about the hidden dangers of seemingly harmless actions. Rest in peace, Essa, Kelsey, and Savannah. Until now, we watched selfie moments before death. Now we are going to watch some of the photos with disturbing backstories that will shock you. Chris Kremers and Lisanne Froon. Traveling the world is an exhilarating adventure, and for Dutch students Chris Kremers and Lisanne Froon, their trip to Panama in early 2014 was meant to be just that.
On March 15, 2014, Chris Kremers and Lisanne Froon, who are both Dutch college students, head to Panama for a 6-week-long part vacation.
They planned to hike, explore, and volunteer as teachers for local children. Everything seemed perfect at first. In the initial photos from their trip, the two young women were smiling, excited for the journey ahead. On April the 1st, they left their host family's home in the mountain town of Boquete for a day hike, accompanied by the family's dog. But later that evening, the dog returned home alone. Chris and Lisanne did not. When they missed a scheduled walking tour the next morning, concern quickly turned into panic. Authorities launched an extensive search operation, scouring the dense Panamanian jungle for any trace of the missing women. However, weeks passed with no answers. Then, after 10 weeks, a breakthrough occurred. A local woman found a backpack sitting near a riverbank, untouched and strangely intact. The bag contained Chris and Lisanne's phones, a camera, money, and personal belongings. Investigators began combing through the devices, and what they discovered sent chills down their spines. The girls had tried calling emergency services 77 times over the course of 10 days, but the thick jungle canopy blocked almost all reception. Only one call briefly connected, lasting just 2 seconds. By April 11th, both phones had died, their batteries completely drained. Even more haunting were the images found on the camera. The first few showed the women happily posing, but as the days passed, their expressions became tense, filled with unease. Then, 7 days after they had disappeared, a shocking series of nighttime photos emerged. The images were eerie. Random shots of the dark forest, makeshift markers made of sticks and rocks, and what seemed to be the back of Chris's head, partially obscured. Even more baffling was the missing photo 509. A picture had been deleted from the camera, seemingly erased between the cheerful daytime photos and the unsettling nighttime shots. Who deleted it, and why? Shortly after these discoveries, search teams located skeletal remains along the same river. Chris's neatly folded clothes were found on a rock, her bones eerily bleached as if exposed to unnatural conditions. Lisanne's remains, however, showed normal decomposition. The contrast fueled speculation. Was this a tragic accident, or did someone or something tamper with the evidence? Some theorists suggested that the young women had gotten lost, while others pointed to more sinister possibilities. A local tour guide even came under suspicion, though no concrete evidence was ever found to link him to the case. The mystery of Chris Kremers and Lisanne Froon remains unsolved to this day, leaving many to wonder, did they simply lose their way, or does the jungle conceal a darker truth? The ghost of Dundas Peak. In 2016, a Reddit user with the handle SlicedUpBeef shared an unsettling story that quickly gained traction online. She and a friend had gone hiking at Dundas Peak, a well-known trail in Hamilton, Ontario, inspired by a photo that her friend's cousin had posted just days earlier. The picture was dramatic, a lone figure standing at the scenic lookout, high above the valley below. The breathtaking view and striking pose made for an ideal photo opportunity, so naturally they decided to recreate it. They made the trek, reached the peak, and snapped their own version of the now famous shot, feeling satisfied with their little adventure. However, a month later, everything changed. Her friend reached out with some chilling news. Something was wrong with the original photo. Upon closer examination, she noticed something lurking in the background. Far below the edge of the cliff, in a place where no human could possibly stand without falling, there appeared to be a tall, thin figure. It stood motionless against the rock face, its posture unnervingly rigid. The most disturbing detail, it had no discernible face. Confused and more than a little spooked, the two examined other photos taken from the same angle, but the figure was nowhere to be found in any of them. Was it a trick of the light, a strange rock formation, or something far more sinister? With no logical explanation in sight, Sliced Up Beef turned to Reddit for answers. Users flooded the comment section with theories. Some insisted that the figure was merely part of the rocky terrain, a coincidental arrangement of shadows and stone. Others, however, weren't so quick to dismiss the anomaly. They pointed out that the figure had a torso that appeared lighter than the surrounding rocks, with a darkened head and legs that didn't align with any natural formations nearby. The eerie symmetry of its stance and the complete absence of any identifiable facial features made it seem even more unnatural. A few suggested it could be another hiker, but that theory fell apart quickly. Who would stand so perfectly still on such a dangerously steep incline? And why hadn't anyone else seen or mentioned this mysterious person at the time? Then came the most chilling speculation. Perhaps it wasn't a human at all. Some Redditors theorized that the figure could be a ghostly apparition, a remnant of someone who had met a tragic end at Dundas Peak. Over the years, the trail had gained a reputation for mysterious happenings, with whispers of hikers disappearing or falling under strange circumstances. No definitive answer has ever been found. Whether the figure was a mere illusion, a lost soul, or something else entirely, one thing remains certain. Whoever or whatever was standing on that impossible ledge has left an eerie mark on Dundas Peak's history. Would you dare hike there alone? The Crouching Man. On a February morning in 2015, 17-year-old Dalen Pua set out for a hike on the infamous Haiku Stairs, also known as the Stairway to Heaven, in Oahu, Hawaii. The trail, with its breathtaking views and treacherous 4,000-step ascent, had long been a magnet for adventurous hikers, despite being officially closed to the public since 1987. Unfortunately, Dalen's daring trek turned into a chilling mystery that remains unsolved to this day. Dalen was visiting his grandmother at the time, and she strongly warned him against attempting the hike, citing the dangers of the steep, narrow pathway. But like many thrill-seekers before him, he was determined to conquer the forbidden trail. He sent his family updates and photos along the way, capturing the mist-covered peaks and lush scenery. But at around 11 a.m., the update stopped. When he failed to return, his family grew concerned and reported him missing. A massive search effort was launched, involving the Honolulu Fire Department, local volunteers, drones, and even the US Navy. For 5 grueling days, rescuers combed the rugged terrain, but no sign of Dalen was found. The official search was eventually called off, though some volunteers continued looking on their own. Then, a shocking discovery was made. While reviewing the last few images Dalen had sent, his family noticed something disturbing. In one of the photos, a mysterious figure crouched in the bushes behind him. The figure, partially obscured, appeared to be a man lurking in the shadows. Some speculated that Dalen had taken the photo to capture evidence of someone following him. The mystery deepened when, on March 2nd, hikers reported hearing faint cries for help from the mountains. Witnesses claimed to have heard someone yelling, "Help me!" and "I'm down here." Search teams immediately returned to the area, but once again, they found nothing. Authorities suggested that Dalen may have slipped and fallen out of sight, but years of searching have yielded no trace of him. To this day, the identity of the Crouching Man remains unknown, and the question of what really happened to Dalen Pua haunts those who hear his story. With the Haiku Stairs now slated for removal, the case remains one of Hawaii's most chilling unsolved disappearances. David A. Johnston. In a seemingly ordinary photograph, volcanologist David A. Johnston sits at a monitoring station with his legs outstretched, notebook in hand, and a smile on his face. The sunny weather and his relaxed demeanor make it appear as if he has no worries in the world. Yet, just 13 hours after this photo was taken, he was gone, wiped off the map by one of the most catastrophic volcanic eruptions in US history. Born in Illinois, Johnston developed an early passion for geology, leading him to graduate with honors in 1971. He later earned a PhD at the University of Washington and became one of the leading experts in volcanic activity. By 1980, he had joined the US Geological Survey and was closely monitoring Mount St. Helens, a towering 18,300-foot volcano in Washington that had recently shown signs of reawakening. The first warning came in March 1980, when a 4.2 magnitude earthquake rattled the area. It was the first significant tremor in over 123 years, and scientists feared that something bigger was coming. Johnston took a particular interest in the volcanic gas emissions, often venturing into the crater itself to study the changes. On May 17, 1980, Johnston was stationed at Coldwater Ridge, a remote outpost about 5.5 miles from the volcano. The next day, he was scheduled to be relieved by his assistant, Harry Glicken. That fateful morning, at exactly 8:32 a.m., Mount St. Helens erupted with unprecedented force. Johnston's final words were transmitted via radio. "Vancouver, Vancouver, this is it!"
Vancouver! Vancouver! This is it!
His voice carried an unmistakable tone of excitement rather than fear. What followed was sheer devastation. A massive lateral explosion sent a scorching cloud of ash, rock, and gas hurtling at 300 miles per hour, annihilating everything in its path. Within just 6 minutes, an area spanning 230 square miles, roughly the size of 10 Manhattans, was completely flattened. Tragically, Johnston was never found. His station was directly in the blast zone, and despite extensive searches, not a single trace of him was ever recovered. In total, 57 people lost their lives that day, but the number could have been far higher. Thanks to Johnston and his team's tireless warnings, authorities had kept the area restricted, preventing thousands from entering the danger zone. Today, Johnston is remembered as a hero in the field of volcanology. The site where he made his final transmission was renamed Johnston Ridge in his honor, a tribute to his bravery and dedication. His story serves as a powerful reminder of the unpredictable and destructive forces of nature, and the courageous individuals who dedicate their lives to understanding them. Overcoming your demons. Have you ever taken a picture and noticed something strange lurking in the background? Joe Martinez from Colorado certainly has, and his experience is nothing short of eerie. In 1999, Joe and his wife, Patty, attended a relative's 50th wedding anniversary party. It was a joyous occasion filled with laughter, celebration, and plenty of photos to remember the day. Like any other couple, Joe and Patty posed for a picture together, smiling for the camera before returning to the festivities. They thought nothing more about it. 8 years later, in 2007, while flipping through an old photo album, Joe and Patty stumbled upon that same anniversary photo. But this time, something caught their eye. Right behind Joe's left shoulder, a sinister-looking face emerged in the background. It had snarling, dog-like features, as if something dark and menacing had been lurking just behind him. At first, they brushed it off, but the more they stared, the more unsettling it became. The strangest part, there had been no dog at the party. Joe, who had been battling a serious addiction problem at the time the photo was taken, saw the eerie image as a representation of the darkness that had consumed his life. To him, the demonic-looking face symbolized the struggles he had been enduring, the addiction that had its claws wrapped tightly around him. The sight of it shook him to his core. From that moment on, Joe vowed to change his life. He fought his addiction and overcame it, carrying the haunting photo as a reminder to never slip back into his old habits. But was the face truly a demon, or was there a logical explanation? John Davenport, a photo expert, analyzed the image and confirmed that it showed no signs of editing or manipulation. That revelation only added to the mystery, strengthening the possibility of something supernatural. However, skeptics argue that the image is a classic case of pareidolia, a psychological phenomenon where the human brain recognizes faces in random patterns, even when none exist. Whether it was a trick of the light or something more sinister, Joe's story remains a chilling reminder of the unseen forces, both internal and external, that shape our lives. The red-haired woman. In 2014, an Ask Reddit thread asked hikers to share the creepiest things they had ever encountered on the trails. One response, posted by a user named Godella Arrot, sent shivers down readers' spines. Along with his post, he shared an unsettling photograph that, at first glance, appeared perfectly normal, but upon closer inspection, it revealed something truly haunting. A woman's face twisted in pain. The story behind the image was even more disturbing. Godella and his friends had been hiking on a well-known trail in Santa Barbara, California, famous for its picturesque 150-foot waterfall. While exploring the base of the falls, they snapped a few photos, unaware that they had captured a life-or-death moment in the background. Unknowingly, they had taken a photograph of 22-year-old Sailor Gilliams at one of the most terrifying moments of her life. Just a day earlier, Sailor had been hiking with her companion, Vega. The two had set off on an adventure, but as night fell, they lost their way. In the darkness, Sailor attempted to jump off a rock to find a safer path, but she landed badly, suffering a severe leg fracture. Vega did his best to help her, lifting her onto his back to carry her to safety. But disaster struck again. He lost his footing, breaking his elbow and shattering Sailor's ankle in the process. Injured and unable to move, Vega made the painful decision to leave Sailor behind while he searched for help. He promised to return, but he never did. Sailor spent the long, terrifying night alone, screaming for help until her voice gave out. As exhaustion and pain overtook her, she drifted in and out of consciousness, completely unaware of what had happened to Vega. The next day, fate intervened. A group of hikers, including Godella and his friends, were passing through the area when something unusual caught their attention. A flash of red hair in the underbrush. Intrigued, they approached and found Sailor, barely conscious, barely holding on. Immediately, they called for emergency help. Paramedics arrived via helicopter and airlifted her to safety, saving her life just in time. Tragically, Vega was not as lucky. His body was later found further down the trail, where he had fallen to his death. If it hadn't been for the small glimpse of Sailor's red hair, she might have suffered the same fate, lost forever in the wilderness. Days later, when Godella reviewed the photos from their hike, he noticed something chilling. Sailor appeared in not one but two of the pictures they had taken. In one of them, her expression was haunting, frozen in a silent scream of despair. It was a moment that encapsulated pure helplessness, a raw glimpse into the terror she had endured. Sailor survived and has since recovered, but the ordeal changed her life in ways she never could have imagined. The terrifying experience left her with both physical and emotional scars, serving as a constant reminder of how fragile life can be when faced with the unpredictable forces of nature. For months after the accident, she struggled with nightmares and flashbacks of the fateful night she spent alone in the wilderness, her calls for help swallowed by the darkness. The loss of Vega weighed heavily on her, filling her with survivor's guilt and an overwhelming sense of grief. Determined to honor his memory, Sailor became an advocate for hiking safety, sharing her story with others to prevent similar tragedies. She now takes extra precautions whenever she sets out on a trail, ensuring she stays on marked paths, carries proper survival gear, and always hikes with a companion. What once seemed like a simple adventure now comes with careful planning and a deep respect for the unpredictable dangers of the wild. Alright, so that's it for this video. And if you want to watch more amazing content like this, check out some of our other videos. Bye.